live. You're listening to Megan and Malika, the best single duo on the airwaves. Welcome back to Tinder Talks.
Last week, we had our guest Maya join us for a talk about tropes in online dating apps. We discussed the horrors that are the fish boys, and during a game of Swipe Life, we discovered that there are truly just no good men on Tinder.
No.
Our O'Neilly challenge for last week was to Lady in the Tramp a food item, bonus points for pasta. And I can tell you right now, Megan and I, we did not do that.
I am so mad because here's the thing. O'Neill's challenges are usually kind of hard because me and Malika are really busy. And this one was super duper easy. And me and Malika literally went to the Olive Garden last night. We were at the Olive Garden with our friends for my birthday. And we still didn't do it because, you know what? We forgot. We need to start writing these down or something during the week so we don't forget.
Yes, I remembered. I was just not thinking about sharing my food with anybody. See, that's the thing with this challenge. It would be really easy, but I also love food too much where I would kind of be a little pissed off if I had to share half of a pasta. Like one single pasta noodle with somebody else.
What? You let me have a bite. So I got like 3.
Oh, so should we have... But I was full at that point. We should have
done it. God, we suck so much. Oh, we're the worst.
I would just like to say, though, that O'Neill was also at this dinner at Olive Garden, and he didn't remind us. So, that's cool.
No, you don't get to talk. Get out of here. You're our producer. No.
So how have you been this week, Megan? Are you single sad or single savvy?
So I have gotten a few texts from Carl, and I am going to text him today because he recommended some bands to me, and I've listened to them. So I'm going to text him and be like, oh, I like your taste in music and stuff like that. But this week, I think I'm going to try and ask him out. I'm going to be like, hey, I know this is awkward because we got set up, but I'd like to go get coffee with you.
Yay.
Because I'm sick and tired of this whole texting game, I want to see him. He's a really nice guy, and it'd be really cool if this worked out because I hate meeting people through the internet, which is funny because I have a podcast about it. But, okay, so I was talking to my friend, Bennett, and he was saying that his sisters have met their significant others through online dating. And he was saying that people are just too busy these days, and that's how everyone's going to meet in the next 10 years, is everyone will have met through an app or a site. But I don't want that for myself. I mean, good for you if that's how you did it, but I want to have a meet cute. I want to meet somebody in real life and fall madly in love with them. Oh, I need that for myself. So this would really be better for me because then we could always be like, oh, we met through mutual friends because you set us up.
True.
Malika would like this too because that means you'd always be part of the story. And Malika loves that.
I do. Well, I will say that I've been just I'm neutral. I think I'm more on the single sad side, but I haven't felt single sad because this entire week I was so busy. I just truly did not think about dating one bit. But we do have a few stories that we just want to let all of you listeners know about. Just in order. I think we should go in an order, time order.
Okay, then the one we have written down last is the first one. Okay.
So, this is a story about how O'Neill, our producer, done fucked up. Big time.
Yeah, O'Neill hurt us.
So, if you know anything about Boston, there's the Boston Marathon, and we call it Marmon here at our school, and it's just us being really drunk and really messy all day long. So O'Neill went and had a comedy brunch with some of his friends, and over there was a person who works at our school who we see all the time. He is a grown man, and Megan and I
He's O'Neill's boss.
He's O'Neill's boss, and Megan and I have, he's cute.
No, we can't lie, Malika. Me and Malika openly talk about how we would like to hook up with O'Neill's boss.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. As though I'm walking past his office all the time, and I'm just I purposefully will go on the other staircase just to avoid him. And I don't know why I'm doing this, because it's not like it really matters. But in my head, I'm in my feelings about it. So O'Neill just opened his big fat mouth and truly said, he was like, hey, you know that those girls want to fuck you?
I never said that.
Those girls okay, so he didn't say that we wanted to fuck him. He said, you know, the girls I host the podcast with, they have crushes on you.
And in response, Megan and I beat O'Neill into truly just
Yeah,
whooped him.
We beat
I
the
was
shit out of O'Neill.
upset.
I had a
I'm so
metal
upset.
water bottle and I was like smacking him with it.
I was
we
beating him
were
with the
punching him,
shoe.
and we weren't yelling at him. We were screaming at him. We were like, O'Neill, you ruined our lives. We were just,
No, truly.
oh my god. Tim
Because
was
I will
there.
say
He was
that this is just
horrified.
like, this isn't even just a, oh, you told someone that we have a crush on you. This is somebody that we have to see in our everyday lives. He's the person who lets us into this podcast suite. This podcast would not be made possible without this man unlocking the door
And
for us. We get our equipment.
from him for all of our film projects and stuff like that.
Just truly, we have to see him too often.
And it's just O'Neill ruined everything.
O'Neill truly,
and I
truly
saw
ruined
him when I was
everything.
getting equipment the other
I did
day,
too.
and we made eye contact, and he gave me the weirdest little croissant smile ever. So
He looked
bad.
me. Actually, he was looking at me when I checked out equipment, and I did not raise my eyes at all. My eyes were glued to the ground, and I got in and I got out, and I was like, I'm just never, ever, 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 ever saying a word to this man ever again. And O'Neill owes us so much shit now. He has to do everything for us, and he can't complain. That's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
Sorry.
Like, he owes us so much. I can't believe my life is ruined. I have to go to school here for another 2 years, and every time I'm going to go down there and see that he knows that I want to maybe do things to him.
Anyway, what other things have happened?
so-
Well, let's talk about O'Neill. So now O'Neill done fucked up, sure, but he's also kind of getting it on with some chick. He's not here right now,
not
but
in a casual way, in a way where they've been out a few times.
and not okay. So this was the girl that he was supposed to go on a date with, and we were doing work and like it's one of the editing bays one night, and he gets up to leave, and we're like, O'Neill, where are you going? It's like 1 a.m, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna go walk her home, and I'm like, what do you mean you're gonna go walk her home? And
He was
he's
going
like,
to West
he's literally
Campus,
going
which was like
to get her
20 minutes from where
20-minute walk where we were to walk her home, and I'm like, ugh. And he's been doing that all week, where he just goes to walk her home at like 2 a.m, and like I just think that's a euphemism, you know.
we were so convinced, and not even a way, like, we weren't judging him. We were like, yeah, go get it. It was like a freaking Wednesday. We were like, you go do you, my guy. And he genuinely just walked her home.
Messy. What else did happen? Oh, talk about the guy from your class.
Where's it? Oh my gosh. Okay. So, there's a guy in my TV, like, screenwriting class, and he wrote the most misogynistic script ever. It was 19 pages about window washers who see a girl through a window in, like, this skyscraper and this is the dialogue, I kid you not. It's like, Dave, that girl's so hot. I want to fuck her so hard. And he's like, yeah, John, I just want to put my dick in her. Like, that's how graphic this was in a class of, like, a discussion of, like, 10. And it was so long. It was so gross. And they follow her to lunch. And he has this whole fantasy where he says really gross shit to her, where he walks up and is like, I hear cat people are more dominant in the bedroom than dog people. And she's like, well, you know, I have a cat. And then it cuts to them fucking. And then it's revealed that it's a daydream. And then also he's a graphic novelist. So they're washing windows again later in the day. And he sees her and he's like, you know what? I'm finally going to talk to her. So he goes down 14 flights from where they're like doing the windows and then up 14 flights and gives her a drawing that he made her. And she's like, oh, thanks. This is nice. And then he leaves and there's a voiceover that's like, taking baby steps in this, and it's about how he gains confidence, but it was so graphic. And one of the notes I gave him was just, we can't root for this character because from page 1 to page 15 it's just him saying really gross stuff about women and about fucking this girl he doesn't know and him kind of stalking her. And this guy was wacky defensive about it. He was just so defensive. He was telling us that we're not the audience he's writing for, and it doesn't matter what we think because he wants to tell stories of the real world. He wants to write for real audiences. And he's like, people don't watch movies to get away. People watch movies for the truth, and I tell the truth. I write the truth, and you're not my audience. And we were like, you're a crazy person. And my TA, God bless, he's the most patient man on earth, my TA, because literally 3 weeks ago when we turned in our first scripts, same kid turned in something just wacky racist. So my TA is out here being so kind and patient and was just trying to tell him that what he was doing was wrong.
That's
and
nasty.
we ended class early because the class was so riled up about this script. Everyone was like, you're being ridiculous. Like, this is so sexist and like all of this stuff. And RTA ended class early. He was like, we're just going to cut the conversation there. So overall, fuck this guy. He's just dumb. He just clearly doesn't know how anything works.
Is he a white man?
Yeah, he's a straight white man.
That's nasty. Okay, let's talk about Megan just turned 20.
I did.
I'm just kidding, because she's turned in her 20s.
I did just turn 20.
No, it's fine. Okay, so
I just turned 20 yesterday. What do you mean she's in her 20s? Like,
all
yeah.
she was talking about us being raging drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Megan turned in her 20s, not 20. And I don't know, we have a couple stories. I want to talk about, first off, Jimmy.
Okay, you talk about that, and I'll talk about the ultimate cock block.
Okay, so Megan was being messy as hell at this point.
I was having
but the thing,
good
it was her
time.
birthday, so
it was my birthday.
It was a good messy where it was just like, you know what, it's okay, like let the girl be a girl. And I don't remember, you were leaning over like this water thing you get water from, whatever those are called, and you were being drunk, and you were telling.
Like to say before this story is that I am hearing this for the first time because I 100% don't remember this story. So Malika,
you didn't know this happened.
I didn't know this.
You didn't know this happened. You weren't paying attention, and then everyone around you saw this happen, and they kind of started laughing because they were like, "Oh,
what happened?"
Awkward. So you were being so you were like saying like, "Oh, it's my 20th." And you know how you were talking to our friend Michael, who was kind of being like, every single time you're like, "I'm 20," he's like, "So am I, Megan." Just like being a dick to you the entire night. So
he's trying to push my buttons.
When you went up to him and you're like, "I'm 20," and you're like being like, you're like having a good time.
I hate this. I hate this so much. I hate this.
He did this face where he was like, he was like one of those like, she's drunk as hell looks, and then turned around to the person next to him and was like, and it was just like, what is this happening? And then he literally just snubbed you. He just started making faces and like pointing at you, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's rude as fuck."
That's so rude. Why did you tell me this?
Because it was funny.
Okay, that is so rude. And also, for starters, everyone's gotten too messy at a party before. Like, who are you to judge? Who?
Oh, yeah.
Who are you? Who? I'm so mad on my birthday. God damn. That was so mean. I can't believe people laughed at me. Well, that makes me super self-conscious about everything I've ever been as a person.
It wasn't people. It was him. He's irrelevant.
Just him? He is irrelevant.
Well, everyone else was like, yeah, she's 20.
I wasn't saying rude shit. I was going around and complimenting people.
Oh, you weren't being rude.
I wasn't being rude at all. And he's still making fun of me?
It was more Michael's reaction.
Michael is always mean to me, though, vaguely.
That's true.
But he's a good guy, I guess.
But
no.
The other thing that happened is
okay.
Tim.
So, more fun. Everyone knows our favorite little Oedipus complex boy, Tim, who was on, 3 episodes ago?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone knows Tim. Tim also, just as a side note, has been begging me and Malika to be a reoccurring character on this, and we're consistently telling him no.
Well, it's because he doesn't date anyone.
He doesn't date anyone, and that's part of his thing, is that he doesn't really want to, but then he's like, come on, I want to be a guest, and we're like, okay, get a Tinder and be a guest.
That's how Ben is, my BFF for life, Ben. He also keeps saying, I want to come back on the podcast, and I'm like, Ben, you kind of have to go on a date first, like, no lonely people allowed except for us.
I know, we're the lonely residents. But anyways, so Tim brought this girl to the party. It was a friend. I would like to make that very clear. Tim asked his friend to come to the party because we were inviting a ton of people. So he brought his friend, but she was she was all up on him.
She was definitely trying to. She was down fuck.
She was flirting hardcore, and we all saw this. And then they were sitting on the couch together, and she was flirting with him. And our friend, deadass, comes up and introduces himself and puts his arm around her, and then 20 minutes later they make out in the bathroom. And the next day we were like, Tim, you got cock-blocked so hard, and he was like so confused.
Yeah,
he had no idea that it even happened.
Well, the thing about that is I was sitting on the other side of the couch, and this person that came in to cockblock Tim, this girl was on Tim, literally on Tim.
She was basically on his lap. It was incredible.
Comes over and he's like, can you guys scoot over? So in the movement of them shifting bodies, he just went, and as soon as he sat down, it wasn't even like he sat down and then made the move. He immediately sat down and put his arm around her and pushed her, pushed her closer to him, and so he just swooped in.
And the rest of the night they were like that. Like, we went to this pizza place afterwards, and they were like that. And Tim had no idea what was going on. We tell him the next day, and now he's decided he's retrospectively mad about it. He's like, yeah,
he was like, I'm
mad.
upset.
I can't believe I got cockblocked. And we were like, you don't like her. And he was like, no, I don't, but I'm mad about it. And we were like, great, Tim.
Literally, the thing is, when this was happening, I was trying to alert Tim to this happening. First off, I was trying to figure out a way to whisper, like, she's trying to fuck you, Tim, without her hearing me. And I realized I couldn't. So when he got cockblocked, I almost was like, Tim, and he just didn't get it. Like, I was like, Tim, and he just was like, what?
He's just so small.
I was like, oh my god. No, he got seriously cockblocked, and that was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. So good.
So maybe next party we go to will be better wing women for Tim.
Oh yeah, I don't think they would have been a good pair. So
no, well also he has no feelings. Like he said that she's his friend. He didn't invite her there for anything like that. He's only being mad because we told him maybe he should be.
Well, it seemed clear that she wanted something.
Maybe.
I mean,
I don't
she
know.
was.
I think that about a lot of Tim's friends,
him.
but also we were all drinking a lot. Also, I think a lot of Tim's friends are kind of in love with him, like his female friends. Our lovely guest today, who we'll introduce shortly, I was eating dinner with her and Tim one time, and this girl came up and proceeded to talk about all the men she had slept with while like holding Tim's hand and touching him. And that went on for like an hour, and then she walked away. And Kayla and I were like, hey, Tim, that girl really wants to bang you. And he's like, oh, no, what? No, me? And I'm like,
Tim's
yeah,
so
bud.
oblivious.
He's so oblivious. It's
so
kind of
funny.
I want him to stay good forever. We were talking about this in Starbucks, that I am in support of him getting a Tinder, but also I just want him to be good forever. And I feel like Tinder ruins people.
My observance of these interactions are Tim saying like, I should probably start dating, and Megan be like, yeah, you should date, and then 2 seconds later being like, Tim, you better not go look at another woman. Like, just
I need a lot of attention all the time. Anyways.
Hilarious. Well, this week our Tinder Talks guest is Kayla. She's a friend of ours and a really funny lady. We'll be speaking to her about dirty talk in just a few. But first, we're going to top off this week's discussion of fascinating dating news. Megan, would you like to kick it off?
I would. So this week, we talking dirty, baby. I got this article from Medical Daily. We're going into science. Medical Daily gave us 4 categories explaining why scientifically dirty talk increases sexual pleasure. The categories are sex on the brain, communicating sexual fantasies in the bedroom, dirty talk in the good girl complex, which I will explain, and then dirty talk and intimacy. So the first one, which is sex on the brain, essentially talks about how male brains, they have a larger space for like sexual drive. So the hypothalamus in their brain is double the size of a woman, and that's where sexual desire and stuff comes from, and circadian rhythms and all sorts of science stuff that's really boring. Essentially, boys got a lot going on in the front of their brain that goes testosterone, I gotta fuck, and women have dead ass half as much of that, which is why generally women's sex drive is lower. And that kind of has a effect on it. But the mind is an erogenous zone, which means because of this, dirty talk can help stimulate that. So if you're not in the mood, dirty talk can get you in the mood, scientifically. All right, the second one is communicating sexual fantasies in the bedroom. And this one's kind of all about confidence, because a 2012 study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships that the more comfortable we are talking about sex, the more satisfactory our sex lives will become, which I think is pretty interesting. All right, the third one is dirty talk in the good girl complex. So the good girl complex, if you don't know, is essentially the idea that, society and stuff like that makes women always want to be good, but that complex in the bedroom transfers to being called stuff like slut and whore. So even if you don't like those words in real life, you might like being called them in the bedroom, because it's like you're supposed to be good, but instead you're bad. So it's like a hot thing that you're like and like men like it too, because gross primal instincts are like, yeah, let's make babies, these good girls, and you're like, oh my god, no, I'm so slutty. And
oh my gosh.
And it's a thing.
That's like the lady in the streets freaking the sheets.
Yes. So that's what that is. It's similar to Madonna whore, basically the same thing, which I think is funny that is even a complex. But even though you might find it offensive outside the bedroom, women can take control of the word in their own terms, and that's why they like it. Finally, we got dirty talk and intimacy. So April Massini, who helped do this study and was the doctor quoted in it in the Medical Daily, said sex isn't just a physical release or an expression of love and affection. It's a way to work things out and process traumas, big and small. So when you're having sex, you're also working through some emotional stuff because it's stress relief. Everyone knows endorphins and stuff like that. So they said that those who communicate during sex were more likely to experience sexual satisfaction. So in other words, engaging in sexual dialogue that feels good with our partner can heighten the experience. So overall, dirty talk, good for you. Science told us so.
That's funny. Do you... Well, we'll talk about it, but...
We'll talk about it.
So we'll be back in just a moment with our guest, Kayla. Hi, Kayla.
Hi. Oh my gosh. I speak into this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yum, yum, yum.
So Kayla is my good friend from my comedy group, but also just life. I like her outside of that.
I would say
so
we're
much.
soulmates, but Jimin exists, so I'm sorry.
We are very close, though.
We're close.
And I would like to think I'm kind of Kayla's boyfriend.
No, we are. We
Yeah.
date.
And I'm a bad boyfriend. I would like to point that out, too. I'm a great girlfriend in real life. Bad boyfriend. Bad boyfriend. I am
Okay, I
just,
forgive you.
I'm poor at texting.
Really.
Oh,
poor.
that's so true.
You're like,
I actually think on this.
I actually
all the time,
think
too.
Kayla and I remember once, because I thought I was just like, maybe I'm just being needy. And I
No,
want somebody to
it's not
respond to
you.
me. And then Kayla said one, she was like, Megan, you're just a really bad texter. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, it's not even, and you know what? This is what I'll say about Megan texting. Megan will not respond to like a personal text for like 2 days. But she'll send things in a group chat or she'll Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember vividly when we were doing a play and this kid was like, not sending Megan like pictures of him in a suit or something like that. And Megan hopped on Snapchat and he had sent a Snapchat and she was like, hey, if you have time to send a Snapchat, you have time to send me a picture.
Okay.
And that's
that
how I
was-
think about Megan when she doesn't text me. I'm like, if you have time to send me a Snapchat, then you have time to read my text.
I would just like to say that was a different scenario because I asked him weeks ago to do that, and also it was kind of a professional environment. But whatever.
But like, I get it. Like, I can only talk to this one girl that I know if we're in a group chat together. Like, I can't text her alone. And like, even if it's
Well,
just
that's
us
not-
talking in a group chat, like,
That's not the case. It's more like, I think like, because I do this too where like it's not like I cannot talk to Megan or Megan won't talk to me in a group chat. It's that like she'll respond and then some days she'll just won't respond.
it's okay. It
But
happens.
you got better at it.
Since they told me this after spring break, I think I've gotten somewhat better. Like,
yeah, you have.
I try a bit
You
more.
actually have.
do.
And
I don't
I
think
and I
you've-
try to apologize too if it's one of those things where I opened it, intended to respond, and then forgot. Because sometimes I'll be at work and I'll be like, "Oh, I see that message," so I open it and I'm like, "Oh, I'll go do the files," then come back and answer it, and then I forget.
It wasn't necessarily. You don't really do. No, you don't. I think you actually kind of stopped doing it. It wasn't like you would forget. It was like we planned to do something. We're like, oh, let's go to this party. Let's go to something. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I'm not going to be with you when you first go. So text me when you leave and then I'll come. And she's like, yeah, I got it. I'll text you when I'm on my way. And then I'll be waiting for like an hour for this text message. And I text her. I'm like, you there yet? And I received no response for like 3 hours. And I'm like, yeah, that's a no, Megan. That's a hard no when
I
you
did
make
that.
plans with someone.
I did that the
Megan
other
needs
day
a
to
cone
a
of
girl, and I
shame.
feel really, really bad.
It's okay.
I
You
was
just
I
have so
got
much going
there
on.
and I was just so happy to be with my friends. No. I do have so much going on. I'm gonna try harder. Which is funny because I always cite communication as being one of my big things that I need out of people.
It
I
just
don't think I'm a
depends
bad
on the
communicator. I
communication.
think I'm bad at texting back, but the content I think I'm pretty good at.
You just have to find Megan on the street. And then
Yeah, I mean,
Get attention
the only
and love.
thing that's bad with that is like someone was waiting for you so that they could.
Oh
leave.
yeah, I feel bad about that, and I feel bad I did that to my friend the other night too.
Oops.
I don't think she ever came to the party, which makes me kind of sad that it's because I didn't text her.
It's
I
okay.
feel really bad.
That's okay.
No.
Next
we
time.
still had a great time.
Next time.
Yeah, we still had a great time, and I am getting lunch with her on Tuesday.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
or dinner. I'm
Good,
getting
good.
dinner with her on Tuesday. Anyways, Kayla, we're talking about dirty slash dirty talking.
Ooh,
What are
my
your-
strong suit.
Oh yes, please tell us your initial thoughts and feelings on this beautiful, beautiful topic.
I think that while in theory I love it, it's just every single time that it's happened in real life, I've just been like, ew, you're gross. You're gross. You're so gross. I don't want you to talk to me like that. Like when it's like, oh my gosh, when you're texting and it's leading up to the moment and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then you get in there and you're like, you want to turn on Netflix? It's really awkward.
That is
But,
accurate.
yeah, I don't know.
That is fully the problem I had with that guy. Do you remember that guy I was sexting?
Oh,
I sexted him for like a week, and we said the grossest stuff, and we never even met up. We just kind of both ghosted each other.
Let me ask you this: Is it easier for you guys to dirty talk in person or on the phone? Or texting?
Oh, texting, for sure. Because, like, I think, like, boys have this idea that, like, when a girl sexts, she's, like, really into it. But, like, I can be making mac and cheese.
I was sexting that guy in the GSU. I was in the student union at our university. I was sexting a guy. There was someone eating a sandwich across from me. Like,
Also, half the time you're usually just in sweatpants, or there's somebody else who's really feeding you lines, and you're like, I don't know what to say.
and then you're with your friends, which is kind of weird.
But, like, when you do it in person, it's kind of, like, really performative. And, it like, I don't like that. It has to come out naturally.
I think it's easier for me to dirty talk. This is what the article was saying as well. I think it's easier for me to dirty talk with someone I know. So if I'm not necessarily like a hookup, but someone I'm dating, someone who knows me, I think it's so much easier to dirty talk with them, because then if you say some weird shit, it's kind of funny.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true.
Oh, my God. One time. Oh, I have a very bad story. One time I was hanging out with my then boyfriend. We were hooking up, yes. And I said, like, I wanted to say something like, this is so gross. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're entirely uncensored.
Okay. I tried to say, like, I love your dick, but I ended up saying I love you. Oh no, no, this is what happened. I said I love you, and then I was like, no, I love your dick.
Your dick.
Your dick. And then he was like, what? I was like, never mind.
Never mind.
Really
No,
awkward.
no.
Just ignore it. So awkward. Oh my God.
This isn't necessarily a dirty talk story, but the first time I ever gave a hand job, this is a very funny story, and if my ex-boyfriend is listening to this, I'm sure he will laugh. When I first gave him a hand job, it was my first hand job I'd ever given anyone, and he was kind of walking me through it because he didn't really care that I had not really done stuff before, and I started laughing while holding his penis, and I was laughing so hard, and he was like, why are you laughing? And I looked at him and said, I feel like you're teaching me to drive stick shift. Because that's what it was.
Oh my God.
Saying inappropriate things to men while their dicks are out. That's honestly
I don't know if
very
anybody's
funny.
anyone tried dirty talking me. The only people who have tried dirty talking me is like people in on the phone, like on text. Like Alex will try to get me. He'll try to feed things. Like he'll be like, oh, tell me how you feel about my dick, and I'm like, I don't.
I don't have feelings.
I don't have feelings. The only other person was like in a hookup at a party, and he was just like, yeah, we're gonna do this, yeah, like blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, yeah.
It's just like,
I can't do it. I don't do it.
It's so awkward when they are really into it and you're like only medium into it, and they're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna do this, and this, and you're like, okay.
It's kind
It gets a little creepy. It's a little. I'm not.
I know.
And I wish I was a powerful bitch who could, but
I do.
No,
I always
are
do.
All powerful bitches. It just has to happen at the right time.
Yeah. I think it's funny, though, when I'm very good. I would consider myself very good at, like, sexting and dirty talk. I high-five myself. I, however, think it is extremely funny when they are very bad at dirty talk. So I'm sending really hot shit where it's like, oh, I can't wait for you to bend me over and fuck me. And he's like, I'm gonna do it.
I'ma bend it.
I'm a man.
I'ma bend it. Like, I think that is so funny. And you
God.
give them so many chances to say anything hot, and they're continuously just like, oh, boobs, man. Like, they're just so bad at it. That is
like,
so funny.
And then what? And I'm like, no, this is a two-way conversation. I'm just not going to tell you all of the things that I'm going to do. I want to hear it from you, your side of the story.
Nothing kills a vibe like a then what.
Oh my God,
No.
yeah. Haha, and then what? Oh,
Actually,
I
had a friend who hooked up with somebody, and he was kind of vanilla about it, and she's really not vanilla. So he was like, the entire time, she was like, they're going at it and they're having sex, and then she's like, okay, we need to like do stuff, like we need to switch it up a little bit. So he'd be like, haha, do you want to switch positions? And she's like, yeah, what do you feel like? And let's do it, like blah blah blah. And he's like, haha, whatever you want, haha.
He didn't know.
And everything he just responded, haha, sure.
Ew.
I'm
cringe.
You know, I think it also depends kind of on the relationship you have with them. I don't know how comfortable you are saying whether you're dominant or submissive to the
I'm
internet.
a switch.
Oh,
I just
nice.
switch.
Ooh, tell me about it.
Tell you about it. I don't know. There are some people, like, I've only realized this very recently. There are some people that I'm hooking up with, and I'm like, well, you're a pussy, so like, I'm gonna dom you, and I think that's just so hot. But then there are some people who are just like, yeah, bitch. Like I had a guy slap me in the face one time. I was like, what?
And you weren't expecting it?
Yeah, no, and I was like, okay, I guess this is happening.
Oh
but
my
it's
gosh.
weird. I don't know. Okay,
Go for it.
no, last night I read this. I don't even know if I want to say this on. Okay, anyway, I was reading this like really long, like just filth on the internet of just like dom sub stuff. And I was like, wow, very interesting. I'm gonna need to apply some of this to my daily life.
Were you reading porn?
Oh yeah, I was reading.
That's
porn.
what Megan does.
Wait, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I don't watch porn.
I read porn.
I read porn. That's like the only way I consume porn.
I used to read
Watching
porn,
it
but-
makes me kind of icky because I always think about the girl's dad.
Oh,
What if it's their stepdad in the video?
Then I think about how I want to die. I just do. I'm like, oh, that girl's dad. He probably picked her up as a kid, and he took photos together, and he maybe tried to do her pigtails, but it didn't
my
work.
God.
He wasn't good at it, and I just get really sad. My dad would be so disappointed in me if I did
Also-
pornography.
Reading porn is a different experience.
It is so different.
Because like while like the language is so gross and you'd never do some of that in real life, like
Seems hot.
you'd never. I don't know. There's some words that I'd never say. Like I'd never say the word shaft.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
yeah, no.
So like
Can I be honest? So when I was, you know, when you're like growing up and you start to first be like a sexual person,
Oh,
or
yeah.
like you the beginning, like you're not having sex, you're not really thinking about people having sex, but you start to realize that sex is a thing.
Yes.
So what I used to do when this was happening, I think how it first started was that I would read books. Like I would read adult books, but they were adult romance books. So there'd always be some sex scene or another. And let me tell you, Catherine Anderson and Susan Anderson write the best sex scenes that I've ever read in my entire life.
Oh.
That part of the library, done.
do they have that at Mugar Memorial Library?
Yeah, I have some books in my room right now. Those are my favorite like romance novels.
Oh my god, I'm gonna read one.
They're so good.
I'm gonna read
Like
one.
their sex scenes are just like vividly beautiful. Just I can't.
It's just, and it's like, it's no sex is ever gonna be that beautiful in real life, but like reading it,
I think
Bony
also
apple
you
teeth.
kind of get to you get to choose the way they look and the way it
Yeah,
plays out, and I
yeah.
think it's just nicer. And the quality in my head is so much better than the quality of porn on the internet.
or like sometimes in real life, like in real life can be gross. I'm like, I don't wanna be near your butthole. Like,
Sex is really, really gross. I always say that sex is not like hot and cool. It's bodies slapping together and making weird noises, and you're always sweaty. You know what? It's ever not gotten sweaty.
Oh, yeah.
Sex.
I
It's
get sweaty
always
walking
sweaty.
outside. Like
you gotta take water breaks.
Yeah. Eat a power bar.
Yeah. I had a guy one time after we had finished, he had like gone to the bathroom, whatever, and I was chilling, and he came back and he's eating something. It was in my apartment. I was like, what the fuck are you eating? Where did you get food? Did you go through my kitchen? That's
my
so
gosh.
weird.
That is
is
so
weird.
He was
weird.
eating a Reese's peanut butter cup. I was like, do not try to kiss me after you have peanut butter all over your face.
I
Weird.
want to ask, what's it like having sex when you have roommates? Like when you have it in your apartment, do you guys just like see each other as like
Well,
people, or you like, pretend?
when I lived on campus, it was just sorry. I don't know. When I lived on campus, it was weird because like they'd hear someone come in, and then I'd just immediately turn on like my air purifier for some white noise, and then some music that I had already ruined with sex. You know, you have a playlist.
Oh yeah.
Like a playlist of songs that like you bang
ruined.
to because they are songs that you have banged to. You know what I mean? You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like I can't listen to Hello
Yes,
Goodbye
absolutely.
anymore. Like if I'm like Here in Your Arms, that song got ruined.
Oh no.
That's a good
no.
song.
I know, but no, yeah, it's awkward. It's really awkward, and you can hear it. Oh my god! I try to be as quiet as possible to be considerate.
Because I think there's a difference between when you live, let's say you're like in a dorm and you have one roommate and you're like, hey, can you leave? Or when your roommate's not there, so it's not interacting. But like when you're in an apartment and you can hear the door opening and you hear someone walk in,
Yeah.
but you're in another room, so it's not like you're watching it or you're in that space, but you hear
Probably
it.
hear it.
Yeah, you hear it, and then when you go outside to get your cereal in the morning, is that other person there too? Because I definitely have friends. I actually have a friend who said that she like walked outside to her living room, and then like the guy was like sleeping on the couch.
Why
Like
was he on the
random,
couch?
I don't like, just some random guy was
Why
on the
wouldn't
couch.
he have slept in her bed?
Hey, sometimes you really just don't want them there. She might have been like, "Can you leave for the night?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'll go." And then like got up and she just didn't go check to see if he left.
I don't
Which is some
believe in
serial
that.
killer shit.
Yeah, no. I don't believe in having boys spend the night. Like, you need to get out.
I don't believe in hookups spending the night. I'm like, you need to leave. But oh boy, do I love to sleep in the same bed as somebody. Oh, it's my
That's
favorite.
why
Well,
me
the
and
thing is,
Megan have
I
sleepovers.
wouldn't want somebody to
That
sleep
and
in
we
my
wanna
bed,
fuck.
but at the same time, if it was reversed and somebody was like, "Can you leave?" I would be pissed that they like said it to me, not
Really?
that I just left. Yeah, I would be upset if somebody said it, but I would leave.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
No,
I just
think-
don't want you to tell
Unless
me.
they
to
ask
leave.
me
Oh,
to
no,
stay,
I'm
I'd
gonna
leave.
leave.
Yeah,
but
just don't tell me. Don't be like, "Okay, you done yet? You ready to go?" Like that, I would be so pissed off
I
about.
immediately start putting my shit together, and I'm like, I left some cookies in the oven. I gotta go.
My carbon monoxide is leaking.
Your
Well,
Oh my
I
God.
really do love sleeping in bed with somebody though, and being held or holding somebody. I want to
But
have
not when you're
I want to have
sweaty.
my hand held constantly. No, not necessarily after sex. Like I just love going to a
Oh.
significant other's house and cuddling up in bed.
This sounds like what we do every Tuesday.
Yeah. I genuinely I just love it so much. I feel like I always sleep better when there's another person there too. Maybe it's a weird comfort thing.
It depends on who it is for me,
Mm-hmm.
and it depends on how long. Because I think there's definitely times like I love sleeping with people. Well, I love sleeping next to people, but I also love my like alone time. Like
Yeah.
the thing is, like I was talking to my therapist about this, and she was like, "Oh, like do you ever want to get married?" And I was like, "Here's the thing, that sounds cute and stuff, but if I had to share a bed with someone every day for 50 years, I'd be annoyed. I need my own room."
No, that's my dream.
And it's funny because my parents, right? We have four rooms in our house. Dead ass. My mom just is like, I have my own room.
Oh my God.
She's like, I
Yeah, my grandparents don't sleep together. They stopped sleeping together a long time ago.
my parents
know,
were married
it's
for 6
weird.
years. They don't sleep together, so
Megan's like, no, please.
I want to be held forever.
I want my own room.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I would
Or
like
just
to
like
have.
a playroom where
Yeah.
you can just go and spend the night if you don't want to like look at someone. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Have you ever seen like The Marvelous Miss Maisel? So in that show, so apparently I don't know much about like TV history, but apparently in the like 1950s, you weren't allowed, like I Love Lucy days, you weren't allowed to show beds of married
Oh,
people.
yeah, yeah.
They couldn't share a bed in TV. So you'd have two twin beds that are just in the same room, and you weren't allowed, like even though they're married, when they would go to bed, they'd go and sleep in their separate beds. So in The Marvelous Miss Maisel, since it's dated, it's period, her parents actually don't have one bed. They have two beds,
That's
like two
so-
twin beds. So when it's sexy time, they push it together and then they push it back and go to
Oh
sleep in
my
separate
God.
beds. That sounds like me. Just
No.
needs
Oh,
to
no,
be
thank
me.
you. Jeez Louise.
Like ideally, like that to me, like that concept of like, yeah, and then nope. That
No.
sounds perfect.
No.
Megan's like hard pass.
I just want to be loved.
Oh my God, well, you will be. You're only in your 20s, so it's okay.
You got a
Yeah.
good decade before people start calling you a spinster. But I know I'm gonna be single
Okay.
till I'm 40, so like
Yeah, this is like so off topic of dirty talk. However, what do you think is too young to be making that if we're not married and this, like, we'll get married?
I think people start doing that when they're teenagers, actually.
No, I mean, not
Oh.
to make it, but what year is like, if we're not married?
If we're not
by
married,
the
usually
time-
it's 35.
What?
If we're
Yeah,
not married
that's
by
so young.
35.
I think that's too young.
I
think
I've heard 35, but some people will do it older, like maybe 40.
If I'm not married by 45,
I think the reason why is because
kill
if you want like to give like natural childbirth or something, it kind of needs to happen by 35.
I think
there are too many children
The-
on the earth.
the marriage pact I have
People
is
may adopt.
40, but I think I'd be okay with moving it to 45.
Who's your marriage pact?
Who do you think?
It's not
Tim.
Tim, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, he
No.
did such a bad husband.
Tim
Megan,
asked
why do
me-
I feel like you?
Tim asked me to marry him when we're 40 in Bay State dining.
Tim's gonna be such a bad husband.
No, I think.
Are
Tim
you
needs-
shitting me? Tim is going to get married way before I do.
No.
Tim is going to find a woman to settle down with way before I do.
Tim is gonna find
This is
someone
fully fictional.
next year. He's gonna find someone next year, and they're gonna date for like 4 years,
And
and
then
then,
they're gonna get
they're gonna break up, and then they're gonna get back together, and then they're gonna adopt a dog.
I just
I
he's
think
gonna
Tim would be
find
such a
someone.
great-
He's gonna find someone way before I. He's like such a nice guy.
I
I'm a
think the
bitch.
same thing about Ben. Ben's definitely.
Like
I'm salty.
I don't
Anyway.
know. Yeah, Tim. I could definitely see Tim being the type of guy to meet a girl in college,
As soon as Tim,
just date her, and then get married.
yeah,
I could see that for him.
Let's bring this back to dirty talk.
But anyways,
I mean, what's the funniest, or just the weirdest sex story that you have?
I was sexting in an IHOP across from my mom once. That's it. The guy was texting me, and he was like, yeah, if you ever, because we had like made out the night before. It was so weird at a friend's house. He's like, yeah, if you ever want to hang out again, I'm gonna do this, this, and this. And my mom is asking me what kind of pancakes I want, and I'm like, chocolate chip.
Deceased.
Yeah.
I think me sexting in the student union is pretty bad. But I once was sexting in the Home Depot.
By the light fixture section.
No, I was by the wood, baby.
Yeah,
I
you were.
used to, do you guys know Small Worlds? Like, have you ever heard of a game called Small Worlds?
Oh, I thought you meant like It's a Small World.
No. So it was like a website, sort of like it's like a Second Life, like that kind of thing. It was some game for children. And on there was this kid that I met there, and we played this game together because like you make online friends and you can keep them. We like played this game for 3 years.
my
Where like
God.
every time I would log on, he would be on, and like we would dead ass like sex, like we would have sex on this computer game.
God.
And I was like 11 or 12.
Wow.
And like I'm not kidding, like to
Nice.
this day probably the hottest shit that I've ever read.
I'm dead.
Like he was good at it.
That's fucking hilarious.
Oh my
well
god,
done.
Small Worlds was so fun. Anyway, but yeah, that's funny.
I'm trying to think of all the dirty talk I've experienced in my
What
life.
is the hottest dirty talk you've got then?
Him,
There's one thing where you're like, yep.
When he
like
talks
a
about
phrase
money.
or something.
Mhm.
Oh wait, what? When he talks about money?
Yeah. He's like, I have so much money. I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm kidding. But actually, I don't even know. I can't think of the
See,
hottest.
I think I'd be more into somebody just being like, oh, I think you're so beautiful, like blah blah. Blah. Like I'd rather they say that than be like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you hard, you slut. Like I don't like that. Like I wouldn't like it at all.
I'm pretty kinky.
kinky.
Yeah. So I've experienced some pretty good dirty talk in my day, but also some pretty bad dirty talk. So I am going to search the word fuck in my
Oh,
messages
yeah.
and
That's a good
see
idea.
kind of where I text the word fuck a lot though. So
I definitely have sexted. Okay, no, I will say the thing that I like is when people sext in terms of questions or they just dirty
Oh,
talk and questions, but I don't like responding is my issue. So when they're like, do you want this or do you like this? I don't like responding, but I like the question. So I just don't I don't say anything, and then they're like,
Or just ghost them.
I just
did you
text
hear me?
fuck to everybody. Oh my
I know.
god.
I
didn't
gave
realize this. I thought immediately all my sexting would come up. I literally texted someone, what in the fucking fuck? This bitch needs to calm down. Oh my god. Why don't I ever...
Ew. I just looked up fuck in my texts, and immediately I've seen 3 people that I've broken up with.
Ooh,
Wow.
heartbreaking.
4! Ooh. Oops. Yeah, that's annoying. Shit. Well then.
I remember a guy called me mommy one time.
Oh.
And I was like,
What's the weirdest thing anybody's ever asked you to do?
oh, to peg them. Oh, I tell the story all the time.
Oh, hells yeah. Let's do this.
So I studied abroad. I studied abroad in London. And I had been like hooking up with this guy pretty regularly for like at least 6 weeks while I was there. And his, can I say his name? His name is Barney. So like, what the fuck? Anyway, and he was like your traditional like British boy. He was pretty metro, and his jeans were really tight, and I was like, I'm really into it. He's so hot. I'll show you a picture. And we had hooked up like a couple times, but like I don't know, it had been a couple weeks, and then he like made a joke. He was like, ha ha ha, like what if you fucked me? And I was like, ha ha ha, are you serious? Ha ha. And he was like, oh no, haha, I'm just kidding. And I was like, okay. But then he brought it up a couple weeks later, and I was like, no, you weren't joking. You want me to peg you. And I see, the problem is, like, I would have, but I feel like that's really high stakes. Like, I gotta trust, you have to trust me a lot. I feel like that would have pushed our relationship into something more like a relationship and less like casual hooking up.
Yeah, I would 100% peg a guy, but only if we were dating.
Yeah.
I couldn't just casually hook up and peg a guy.
The thing is, I wouldn't want to do the prepreparation.
Yeah, I'm also
Like,
worried.
no,
What if
thank
I
you.
tore their asshole with whatever thing we were using?
God.
That scares me. I don't want to hurt him.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he's so cute.
So cute.
O'Neill's
He's
face
so
when I
cute.
said tore your asshole, he was on his phone and he looked up at me with the most horrified expression. It was like that he hadn't processed that that's potential when you're pegging somebody.
You can't tear someone's asshole.
Yeah, you can.
When you're pegging someone?
You can you can collapse. Wait, what is it called?
you-
A collapse.
a prolapse.
A prolapse. Collapse. You can collapse.
Well, no, because you can tear an asshole. Oh my God, he is a quintessential British boy. No,
so
because
cute, though.
Danya talked about her butt here.
Wait, what?
What about her torn asshole?
What?
You can absolutely tear your asshole. This is 100% true. Danya talked about it. And, you know, I knew a girl in high school who tore her asshole doing it like that for the guy.
God.
And here's what's worse is she couldn't tell her mom because her mom would have been hella mad that she was having sex, right? So she was just dealing with the pain of this torn asshole. And sometimes she said when she took too big a deuce, it would re-tear and bleed a fuck ton.
Isn't that what oh my God, a hemorrhoid? I don't know. I don't know.
a hemorrhoid.
Jesus, I knew this girl.
Beware of torn assholes.
I knew this girl in high school who only did anal with her boyfriend because she was like, I'm saving myself for marriage. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck?
You were not. You were having sex.
You are having sex. Just it's not pleasurable for you.
No.
I don't get it why girls do anal. There, I said it.
You know, there was that stigma at my high school because I went to a private religious high school. So there was a joke kind of amongst everybody that everyone who was having sex was doing anal because they wanted to save them because it was unholy and they were good Christian kids, so they weren't gonna have sex the normal way. Not that if you want to do anal like you do you, that's normal to you, that's fine. But you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, I don't mean to like kink shame anyone.
I don't mean to
You
kink
do
shame
you.
anybody, but there was like a joke that it was like, oh, the Christian girls always do anal because they're saving themselves for marriage. And I was like, fuck no, bitch.
I'm like, my nails are way too long to be putting that up my butthole. Like, no, thank you.
Did he want you to peg him with like a toy?
I'm
Or-
90% sure he had one. And
See,
was
that's what
ready
I'm talking
for it.
about. Torn asshole territory is if you use a toy and the toy like.
Yeah, but like, I feel like.
But if he was asking, he's probably done it before.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if he was asking someone he's only known for like 6 weeks or so, then
he
he's probably
bent
like,
over and showed me his.
oh, he's done it. He likes it.
He's been fucked. Like, I know.
he liked that.
That's
one.
kind of hot.
I know.
Yeah, a
I was
little
like,
bit.
I like really would have, but
That's
if
kind
I
of
could
hot.
go back, I'd
a guy
do it.
who's been fucked. Oh, I kind of like that.
Oh my god, Megan!
That's kind of fun to think about.
The guy, I'll just say his name, August.
We literally talked about him
I
last
know.
week, Malika.
No, he literally, well, the thing about August is like he has sex with both women and men, and so a lot of like I remember one time thinking because he was talking about sex, and I just remember thinking like, do you just like do you like it when girls also do that? Like I didn't want to ask him. But that's what I was thinking the entire time. I was like,
And what did he say?
I didn't ask him.
Oh,
I was
you
scared.
didn't
I
ask.
was like,
You
I don't
should
think-
ask.
I don't think I should have asked him.
Yeah.
It's okay. But
I don't usually want a man's opinion. However, O'Neill, just simple yes or no, being pegged.
I'm not opposed.
I'm not opposed to it.
Because like
I've
you
tried.
I mean,
you got that special.
said you've
spot
tried it.
Yeah,
up
so
there.
I've heard
I would try it.
I've heard people say, like men say, that it is crazy good for them.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're
Massaging your prostate is like a.
It's like a thing.
It's supposed to be healthy for you. So.
All right, well, you heard it here first. O'Neill would try it. Maybe he'll get a
But you
Megan
would-
and Malika
I
challenge
can't-
sometime.
No,
The thing is, I can't imagine the kind of woman that would do that.
Oh
to
my God,
O'Neal.
only
Like
the
it would have to be.
Let me tell you what, the most powerful woman on this earth would have to be that to
Like,
O'Neal, and she would be immortal. She would gain level 500 strength to fuck O'Neal. That's insane to me.
Oh my God.
It's just like O'Neal's a particular type of person. Like I can't picture. I also just can't picture any of the women that he slept with. Like I don't see it.
I don't think you want to picture your friends having sex.
That's true.
Or getting pegged.
I guess.
Snicker, snicker.
I guess. Let's see what we do want to know what our friends would do, though. We playing a sexy little game today.
What is that accent?
Huh?
What
I
is
don't
that
know.
accent? It was cute. Do it
Okay,
later.
well, do it later, wink. The game, we're just playing classic sexy would you rather. So we have a lot of different ones here that we're going to ask everybody. Like, we're going to ask the room, see what you would rather do, I don't like some of these. Some of them are pretty simple. Some of them definitely seem upsetting to me. So the first one is, would you rather wrestle naked in a pool of Jell-O or a pool of chocolate pudding?
Chocolate.
I feel like I'm going to go with Jell-O because I feel like Jell-O comes off of your body when you're not in contact with it, but if you dipped your arm in chocolate pudding, like there'd just be chocolate. Whereas if I dipped my arm in Jell-O, so like, I love lime Jell-O. So
I would have to say that I would also go with Jell-O because I feel as though Jell-O has less of a chance of getting in my orifices. Whereas
go with
chocolate
chocolate,
pudding
'cause
could definitely
What,
get
is
in
he
an
gonna
orifice.
spin his dick around in the
If
chocolate
you're
pudding and
wrestling
then-
naked in a pool of chocolate pudding,
Oh,
you
it's
could
wrestling.
You could definitely get chocolate pudding in your.
Well, I don't like Jell-O, so I would choose chocolate pudding because as we're wrestling, I could just eat.
You could just
sand.
like, you're like, oh,
See, I don't like Jell-O either, so I guess.
lime Jell-O. You guys.
Like, I'm like, if we're gonna be wrestling in food, I'd want to eat the food.
all
while
right,
we do
all
it.
right, fair.
Next question: would you rather make whoopee in your parents' bed or at a mattress store?
Make
And I'm gonna make whoopee.
You mean to have sex?
Have sex
Oh my
in your parents' bed or at a mattress store, and I'm gonna add in with like people watching.
Ooh, that's kind of hot.
In your parents' bed too?
oh,
No.
will I get arrested and will I be registered as a sex offender
No.
for public?
No, this is like an event.
Oh, I'd do it. I'd do it in a public mattress
I
store.
would too. Yeah.
Where is it
1000%.
kind of hot? I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Like you
Watch
can pick the
this.
good bed. Like you can shop around. Maybe one's not right for you. It's like Goldilocks. Like this one's
Get a load
too
of
hard.
this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Pick that Goldilocks bed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to do it in
Well,
my parents' bed, but I also definitely don't want to do it in front of
Wait,
people.
do you think that mattress stores have a rule of like you fuck on it, you buy it? Because I'm sure people have done this before. 1,000%.
What are they gonna buy the display bed?
Yeah.
That's kind of gross.
He's like, you want to fuck on it? You can spend $800 on your mattress.
Yeah, imagine
a mattress
what
is
those
more than
display
that.
beds have seen, though.
What do you mean? Oh, it was so many shoes on beds. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Megan, what would you do?
I don't want to do it in my parents'
You
bed.
have to pick. It's would you rather. You die otherwise.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do the mattress store then with people
All right.
watching. Like, it's too gross to do my parents' bed.
O'Neal's like, fuck, what? What the fuck would I pick?
O'Neal doesn't get a say. I only ask for the opinion of O'Neal when I want it.
Oh my
You just get
God.
to say it. That's not how life goes. All right. Would you rather? Oh, there's so many good ones. Would you rather? I think the next one's fine. Accidentally send a dirty text to your boss or a sexy voicemail to your mom?
Ew.
Okay, I have an answer. I would rather send a sexy voicemail to my mom because she would laugh about it. Like, if it were my dad, he'd kill me. But, like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
mom, she'd be like, oh, Kayla, you're so funny. Ha, ha, ha.
I think I would also do my mom. Because
I'm gonna
at
have to
least,
also do my mom. Yeah.
at least you can recover from that one.
Yeah.
I don't think your boss, that could either go two ways. Either he'd be like, yeah, or he'd be like, you're fired.
Yeah.
So,
This is, I gotta report this to HR.
yeah,
actually.
like, you gotta go.
My mom has told me, this is a complete sidetrack. My mom has told me that, I don't know why she's told me this, that when she has had anal, it has been the best sex of her life.
Wow.
I'm like, first of all, why would you tell your daughter that? But like, you know, ladies, anal's an option.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Megan's like, I want to do anal now. God.
I actually am really
Anal
scared.
just feels like you're shitting.
I just don't
Like
want-
reverse shitting.
I'm
That's
so
what it
reverse
feels
shitting.
I'm
Yeah.
so scared that my asshole's gonna tear. I'm afraid.
God, you just gotta lube it up. You gotta
I'm
put some
afraid.
fingies in there. I just
Oh
stuttered so
no,
hard.
fingies. No fingies. So, would you rather do it in 32-degree weather or 100-degree weather? This one's got some layers to it. You gotta think about this one.
Like, are we outside?
I think
Yeah.
probably.
I mean,
Will I get arrested for public
No,
indecency?
no.
so would you rather do it in ice or when
Huh.
it's too hot? I don't know. I feel like for me, I think I'd rather do it in 32-degree weather because I'm going to get frostbite, but in 100-degree weather, you could have a heat stroke and die. So if he gets frostbite on his dick,
I
it'll
know.
just be chopped
I
off.
know what I want.
I think I know what you want. Go ahead, say it.
It's that 32-degree weather.
Oh, no, never mind.
Really? No. Oh my god. I think that would be so hot. Like all your winter coats, only things out. It's like genitalia. I think that would be incredibly
Oh,
hot.
you can wear clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was
Got
an
my
option.
big winter coat on, but there's still dick out. That'd be fun. I think that's
It's like
funny.
snowing. It's Christmas time.
Aw,
Yeah, hell yeah. I'll do it.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But I'd also do
Imagine
it.
also
100-degree
you'd
weather.
probably just it'd probably be pretty good sex if you're doing it in 32-degree weather.
Just be nice and cool. Yeah, if I have a coat on, sure, why not?
Sure. All right.
Would you rather fart in the bedroom or belch while kissing?
Does it smell both ways?
Yes.
Oh, fuck.
Make it the stankiest that it'll ever be. Just so you're embarrassed. Like you fart in the bedroom while you're doing it, or you belch while you're kissing right in his nose.
Right in his face?
Yeah.
Or her face?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Ew, what did I eat? Like
Good,
Indian
good,
food?
good Mexican food.
Oh, fuck.
Oh no.
I think I'd...
I know what I'd rather do.
What would you rather do?
I'd rather fart.
Really?
I hate when people burp in my face. Like, that is truly, like, my pet peeve in life. And so I'd rather fart because then at least you can, like, kind of, like, push him off the bed and be like, it's fine. It'll clear out soon.
Like, hold your breath.
Yeah.
I guess I'd pick that too, but like, I'd really rather not do either.
I'd
of
really
those
rather
things.
not do either. But I think I do fart as well, just because I think if you are fucking and you fart, they are less likely to bring it up. Whereas if you burp on them while kissing, like there is
Yeah.
gotta be a reaction.
Also,
Yeah.
it could be, I mean, I know the smell would be there, but, like, you could pass it off for, like, a good queef.
Just moan really loud. Just moan really loud. And you're like,
prepare for it to come, and then it's moan as it happens, and he'll be distracted.
oh yeah.
That'd be so
Oh
funny.
my
You
god.
can distract him.
Would you rather walk in on your parents making love or
Oh
have
my
them
God.
walk in on you?
I'd rather be walked in on. I don't think I could ever recover if I ever saw my parents having sex. I would never recover,
Ooh.
or even hearing it. I'd rather kill myself.
See, at first, my first instinct would be I'd rather walk in on them because I don't want to have to deal with me. Like, at least they'd be the ones who fucked up. And, like, a weird way, because it's their house, but, like, also, like, they'd be the ones who were embarrassed. But then again, like, after you said that, I was like, well, no, I couldn't recover from that. So
Yeah.
it would have to be.
This is so terrible.
I don't know. Just be.
Oh, no.
I can't pick. Oh no, 'cause they're both so bad.
I think I would pick have them walk in.
I don't want that, but also, they'll never look at me the same.
I've been walked in on before. It's not that bad. It's just like, oh, okay.
All right,
And then
I'm
we
gonna
all
do that
forget
one.
it. You forget it, and you're.
I'll be walked in on
Yeah.
them. I already had sex in a mattress store. It's like
It's fine. Your
fine.
parents walk into the mattress store.
See,
No,
that's
wait.
all that is. They
I
walk
think,
in a
Megan,
mattress
you've
store.
kind of been walked in on. You told a story on the podcast a while ago about you and your ex fucking in a playhouse or some shit.
A playhouse?
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
that
you
did
got
happen.
stuck in the window. But
no one saw.
But he almost caught you.
Playhouse? What a like a McDonald's playhouse?
No, like a playhouse in his backyard from his childhood.
Oh.
My
And then
head
she got
in-
stuck.
Yeah.
And
No.
his
How did you
parents
get
almost came
stuck?
home.
So I was bent over
Uh-huh.
on the playhouse, and he thrusted too hard, and my head went through the playhouse's little window, and it got stuck. and it was
That's
really bad.
hilarious.
And I had to. It was a minute. His parents almost, when they were like pulling in the driveway, we were just then getting my head out of the playhouse.
Oh my god.
That's the funniest shit.
I'd be mortified.
It was pretty bad. I was pretty embarrassed for like a while. He really did not care about a lot of stuff just because he was a very typical teenage boy and that he wanted to fuck all the time and he did not give a fuck what was happening.
I feel like you can do most things, but like if a boy gets to come, he won't care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the tea.
That is the tea, sis.
Yeah, a lot of times girls are kind of like more the ones thinking about it. But just science, they have bigger hypothalamus or whatever. They want it more.
Never mind.
Here is a little bit of something I haven't thought about. Would you rather tease with hot wax or with ice cubes?
Is it 32-degree weather or 100-degree weather?
I guess it's just comfortable weather. However you like it when you're
Hot wax.
having sex.
hot wax. You
Really?
ever put your finger in hot wax? It's awesome.
I'm gonna say ice cubes.
Really?
I'm going to say ice cubes too.
Because if you're like, imagine if you're like sweating. Like, first off, ice cubes, when you put it like on your skin, will feel good as long as you're not like super cold. So if you're like sweaty and you're having sex and everything's hot and disgusting, you use some ice cubes. It's yummy. Or like when you put, I've heard like from a lot of guys, like if you put ice cubes in your mouth and you give them a blowjob, that they really like it.
What? Oh, I have to try that. Oh, O'Neill.
I don't know about that.
It's not
challenge.
direct
cold,
cold,
right?
but it's not direct cold. It's not like
If
ice
you're-
cubes on your dick, but it's like a cool. I've also heard
But if
that
you
like
have an
people
ice
like when
cube
you
in your mouth.
no, it melts, and then your mouth is
Oh.
kind of like that, like hot, cold, and then you do it. But I've heard to never use mints, like menthol. That shit would hurt.
I want this to be a challenge for me and Malika. Now that it's been said, yeah. Okay. I think I'd do ice cubes as well. Just because I'm worried the hot wax would be too hot, and I don't know. I think the ice cubes could be kind of hot. I have one of those face rollers things where you put
jade roller?
the jade roller, but it's the one that you freeze. So you put the roller part of it in the freezer, and it gets really cold, and then you roll it on your face. And like, no lie, it's a little hot.
You could use, that's kind of kinky. Ooh.
Oh yeah,
You
imagine
jade roll his dick.
Ooh, yeah. Improve that circulation and overall skin tone.
Ooh,
On his dick.
on his dick. Yeah, I don't know. People have done that to me before, and I've been like, I don't know, this is kind of erotic.
People have put ice on you before?
No, like my friends have done the thing on my face before, like the little cold jail roller, and not in a way where I'm like, oh, we're gonna fuck, but in a way I'm like, this is cute.
Would you rather have a hickey or give a hickey?
That's a hard one.
Am I
just because I like
12?
both.
I think hickeys are very high school.
They are, but I love like people kissing my neck, like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's my number one like turn on move. So in which case, then like I'd be getting a hickey, and I prefer that to giving because I'm selfish.
Giving hickeys is also kind of hard
I know,
for
it's
me.
also
I
stupid.
don't know. It is. I just like don't like sucking up on one piece of skin for too long.
I
AKA
don't
like
ever
dick.
want to have a hickey because I don't want to have my beautiful neck or face attacked by this. However, I will give hickeys all day long.
All right, you want to give me a hickey right
I
now?
will bite the shit out of you.
I got a hickey.
I'm good at
and
giving hickeys.
Oh no, this is so funny. I got a hickey last year on accident. I was actually joking because this guy was like, "Are you sure you're not gonna get a hickey?" And I'm like, "No, that's some white people shit." I proceeded to get a hickey. That was dead ass my answer. I was like, "No, that's some white people shit." And then I got a hickey, and so I'm walking with Megan, and I had to wear I was coming back from work, so I was wearing a scarf, and I had taken off my scarf as we're going through security, and Megan decides to be all chummy with the security guard. At which point, when we're leaving, he turns to
pretty
me, and he points his newspaper at my neck, and he was like, "So what's that, huh?"
Oh my god. Is
And
this
proceeds to lecture on how he's like, "I saw you college girls with your hickeys and like your sexual."
suck my motherfucking dick, Steven.
Yeah. So,
Mind your goddamn business.
Oh, it's
see,
awkward.
I give very good hickeys. I thought it was funny. I briefly dated a friend who we were all friends with, and I gave him some pretty nasty hickeys, and people laughed at him so hard. It was good. It was a good time.
I remember my freshman year of college, I hooked up with I hooked up with one guy and made out with another one all in one night, and they had just like destroyed my neck, and this hot guy on my floor, rip, pour one out. He's not dead. I just don't know where he is. I saw him like on my way to the communal bathroom, and he was like, "Yeah, nice hickey." I was like, "Fuck, I
Whoa.
fucked that up." Oh, goddamn. But he was so hot. Rip.
Oh, what?
That's beautiful.
Man.
Would you rather make out with Betty White or Miley Cyrus? I feel like that's pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious.
Right on 3.
1, 2, 3.
Betty
Miley
White.
Cyrus.
Oh. Well,
Explain yourself.
I thought it was a bit that was going to happen, but you guys were truthful in your answers. I would also make out with Miley Cyrus.
I just feel like she's probably so good.
That's somebody I was actually thinking. I was like, should I say Betty White for the joke?
Right?
and then I was like, no,
thought
they're
that
going
was
to be
what this
serious.
was gonna happen.
That's so funny.
Wait, more
okay.
importantly, the one above it, would you rather get a massage with peanut butter or maple syrup?
I'm allergic to peanut butter, so that'd be some nasty shit.
I love anaphylaxis. Ew. Is it creamy peanut? Is it like
Is that smooth Jiffy?
is it creamy peanut butter? Because when that oil separates though.
Yeah, I just think maple syrup would be too sticky.
Yeah.
Would be. But
It's never gonna come out of any of the hair.
No, but then I'm gonna think about that peanut butter baby while it's happening. Ah. Ah.
would you rather have a naked picture of you become an internet meme or be caught on camera naked during a live newscast?
Oh, the newscast one.
Me
The
too.
newscast one too.
Because who watches the news unless it's like CNN?
But I also think it'd be so funny, and somebody would turn it into one of those like internet like videos with music where they've dubbed it over into a rap song. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like,
It's like
ain't nobody got time
it's
for
like
that
a diss
mess.
track or something.
I just want one of those.
Oh
It'd
my
be so
God.
good. Sweet Brown.
All right, and I think we should do one more.
Amazing.
I want to find a very good one though. Okay, this one I think is pretty good. I think there's pros and cons. This is not as exciting, but would you rather have your man dressed as a manly lumberjack or a sharp dressed man?
Oh, sharp dress.
Sharp dressed.
Yeah, there is nothing that makes me want to do it more than a man in a suit.
Can I just say, my fantasy is going to a very expensive restaurant dressed to the nines and having one of those up my, where he can, with a,
Oh.
you have to watch
For
the-
reference.
one of those, a vibrator.
A
you can
vibrator
control
with
a
a-
remote. There you go.
There you
So I
go.
was watching this
I
YouTube
got
video of a woman whose boyfriend bought her like vibrating panties. So it has a vibrator inside of the thing in the panty, that part, the gusset.
Oh.
Wow.
And
You
so
know what that part of the, I'm sorry.
Gusset.
Gusset. Wow.
Malika knows a lot.
So
Very smart.
his girlfriend put on these panties, and they're like, okay, let's leave for the day. And so, she put on the panties, and then he was like, look. And so she was like, oh my God, but she just thought that they were normal underwear. And so she's like, all right, we're in a rush. We have to go pick up. Like they were going to go shopping and go to brunch with his mother. So she forgot to take off the panties and just left the house. They were in a rush. They ran out. And she's driving the car. His mother is in the seat next to her, the passenger seat. And all of a sudden, as she's driving the car, he's vlogging her. And, like, she doesn't realize anything's happening. And he turns on the panties and she jumps.
Oh my God, do they get into a car crash and die immediately?
She jumps. And then she was like, oh, stop that. And then, like, he keeps turning it on as they're driving. So she's, like, moaning, like, slightly moaning. And she's, like, pissed off. And she keeps turning on. She's like, cut that out. And he's
That
like,
is my fantasy.
and his mom's just like, what's happening? Are you pranking her? I don't see what's happening here. Like, his mom was just so oblivious.
God, I
And
love
eventually
that.
she had to tell the mom that, like, she had a vibrator in her underwear because she was moaning so much.
No, I would be
wouldn't-
able to keep it together. I wouldn't start moaning.
Oh yeah,
I
I
could
can come
definitely
with a
save
straight
face.
I just scared O'Neill.
Yeah.
I could come with the straight face.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is my this is my orgasm face. Just slight eyebrow
I
raise.
do love a sharp dressed man though.
Oh,
Anytime
yeah.
have you ever been with your friends who you never would think about like that, but then you see them in a suit and you're kind of like,
Oh, the minute you see Tim in a suit, it's gonna be over for you.
everyone's so mean to me about Tim. I didn't even bring him up.
I'm just saying.
Even if
For a
that's
second.
true, it's because we're friends. Tim, I am not Tim's type. Tim has told me many times.
Well, you're my type, so.
Thank you.
Hilarious.
Tim often reminds me that he would never get anywhere near me in a romantic sense.
Well, I'm gonna literally kill Tim, so.
I'd like
actually
to say
kinda
that
rude.
you didn't. Well, okay, so Tim did this rude thing a couple weeks ago where Megan was. I said I would
We're
take.
over that though. That's
No,
like-
but Last night. No, you
Oh,
know,
wait,
I'm not
are we
gonna forget
talking
it.
the ears thing? Oh, I know.
No,
We're
no,
talking
we're
about
not
the
talking
see
about
me
that.
naked thing.
It was when you so he said something rude, whatever. You've heard on the podcast before when we talked about it in Cave. And last night I thought Megan was gonna pounce on O'Neill because she started to get naked. Like she got in the room, she started to get naked, and she
That
was like, "Boys,
started
you
to
can
get
turn around."
naked. That
Well, you were
sounds like I was
changing. You
gonna-
were changing.
I
And
was
so-
changing, yeah.
She's like, boys, if you want to turn around right now, I'm gonna. Or you want to see me naked? You better turn around. And literally, both Neil and Tim were like, "Oh yeah, no."
Tim
so funny.
refuses to ever see me. Like I'm worried about us going to the beach together because I feel like too much of my skin will be out and I'll be
I think
scared.
it's like Pandora's box for him.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh my god,
Kayla.
thank you for having me. It's been
Thank
weird
you,
listening to your
listeners.
voices in these headphones.
Yeah, it is a little odd.
but I kind of really
Your
like
voice
it.
is so good though. You have such a soothing voice.
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I
Should
like
I
it. A
read
voice for
some
radio.
erotic fanfic? Oh. Nothing. Oh. Never mind.
Oh my god.
O'Neill's face, he would like this.
O'Neill is so desensitized to this stuff. It's pretty bad.
I'm glad
he
he's
told
here,
me the other day. He told us the other day. He was like, I was sitting in an editing suite and I'm literally listening to you guys talk about being fucked by strangers and not even like just clicking buttons doing my internet browser. Like when we sext and we talk about how we're doing laundry or just being in the GSU, that's O'Neill listening to our podcast. He's just like going about his day when we say nasty ass shit.
He's the guy eating a sandwich in the GSU while you're sexting.
But seriously, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's been such a joy.
To end this episode, we've got a new challenge from O'Neill. And that is to go on 2 dates in 1 week.
Which is funny
Which is
because
not
me and
happening.
Malika are trash at dating. All right, check out at Tinder Talks Pod on Twitter and Instagram to see how we do and to stay in touch. Check out our social media as well. We're having new posts every few days, as well as content about our guests and our O'Neilly challenges.
Once again, I'm Malika.
And I'm Megan.
You've been listening to Tinder Talks. Until next time.
Bye.